Right. So good morning, everyone, and I think it's not good morning; it's good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the online session of microprocessors and microcontrollers class. In today's class, we will discuss the basic things that are needed to get into the instruction set of 8086. Okay. Actually, we have to discuss the instruction set of 8086 today, okay, which is our next topic in the given syllabus. But there are some prerequisites that has to be understood before we actually enter into the instruction set of 8086. Those are the instruction format. The first thing that you need to understand, the first prerequisite is instruction format, and the second one is the classification of instructions. Okay, so we need to understand these two types before going to the instruction set of 8086. In today's class, we'll try to complete these two prerequisites, and in the next class, we'll start the instruction set of 8086. Okay, so let us now start our session. What is the instruction format of 8086? In the previous classes, while doing the addressing mode, okay, before actually entering into the addressing modes of 8086, I explained you the format of instructions in 8086. That means, what did I explain to you? That the instruction of 8086 will have two parts. Will have what? Two parts. One part is op code. One part is what? Op code. And the second part is what? Operand. Okay, operand. Right? So the instructions with this format, the opcode and operand. What is opcode? It specifies the type of operation that is performed by the microprocessor. Okay, it indicates the type of operation. And what does this operand specify? This indicates the data. Okay, the data on which this operation is performed. Okay, that is what the relation between opcode and operand, and these two combinedly gives you an instruction. Gives you an instruction. Okay, so that is how instructions are what you can say formatted in the 8086. But this is from external. But when you go in detail to the instruction, this is what you have. This is what you have. This is the in detail instruction format of 8086. That means each and every bit of the instruction, each and every bit of the instruction will have a specific meaning. Will have a specific meaning. Okay, so that you need to understand. And depending upon the what you can say type of addressing, depending upon the type of addressing, the instruction format will get changed. That means the size of the instruction will get changed. Okay, that you need to understand. In this class, what we'll try to do is we'll go in detail. We'll go in detail to the instruction format, and we'll understand what each and every bit is indicating. Okay, so this clear understanding is necessary for understanding the instruction set of 8086. Right. So what we'll do is, if you see, the instruction format is having byte 1, byte 2, byte 3, byte 4, byte 5, and byte 6. Okay. If you observe from byte 3, all the bytes are indicated by using dotted lines. Okay, so these bytes, that means the size of the instruction is depending upon the type of addressing that we'll see later. And we'll see what are these, when we'll have this third byte, when we'll have this fourth byte, and when we'll have this fifth and sixth byte. Okay, so we'll also see what is this lower displacement, higher displacement. We'll understand one by one. Okay, so first we'll understand byte 1. First we'll understand byte 1 in the instruction format of 8086. In the byte 1, if you observe the bits, okay, this is indicating the, what you can say, the byte 1. First you need to understand a byte means 8 bits. Some people won't be knowing this also. Okay, a byte means what? 8 bits. Okay, here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 7 and 8. Okay, so generally we count from this way. Okay, 0 to 7. 0 to 7. Okay, this is the 0th bit and this is the 7th bit. Okay, this 0th bit indicates the LSB bit, least significant bit, and the 7th bit indicates the most significant bit. Most significant bit. Okay, so generally this byte 1 will indicate the opcode. Byte 1 will always indicate the opcode. Okay, so in opcode also, this opcode is not taking all the bytes, all the bits. Okay, all the bits. If you count the number of bits here, it is taking from D2 to D7. That means almost 6 bits. Almost 6 bits it is consuming. Okay, so the opcode is occupying 6 bits. What are the remaining 2 bits specifying here? First, it is the 0th bit, and this is the 0th bit, and this is the first bit here. This is the 0th bit, and this is the first bit. What does the 0th bit is specifying? It is specifying word or byte operation. What do you mean by word or byte operation? Okay, word represents word represents 16 bits. 16 bits. Okay. And byte, as I told you, byte represents 8 bits. Byte represents 8 bits. That means it is indicating, this particular bit is indicating, okay, whether the operation, okay, here we'll have the operands now. Okay, so the instruction format will have both opcode and operand. Okay, so the 6 bits of the first byte were occupied by the opcode. Next thing, we need to understand what the type of operand we are dealing with. What type of operand we are dealing with. Okay, so whether we are dealing with the 16-bit operand or we are dealing with 8-bit operand, that we need to understand. Okay, so that will be specified by this D0 bit. Okay, this 0th bit will specify whether we are dealing with 16-bit operand or 8-bit operand. Okay, if the value is, if the W value, okay, here D0 value, 0th bit is specifying W, okay, 0th, let us say it is D0, bit is specifying W. If the value is equal to 0, then the operand will be 8 bit. If the W value is equal to 1, then it is working on 16-bit operand. That is the indication given by this particular D0 bit. Coming to the next bit here, we have D1 bit. Okay, that D1 bit is specifying the direction is to register direction or direction is from register. Okay, that means it is indicating the direction of data transfer. Direction of data transfer. That means if it is 1, okay, if it is 1, it is from the register, and if it is 0, it is to the register. That means we'll have the register, this particular bit is indicating that are we transferring the data into the register or from the register. Okay, into the register or from the register. Okay, first bit will specify the size of the data, whether it is 16-bit data or 8-bit data. After specifying the size of the data, next we are understanding whether it is the data, okay, whether it is 16-bit or 8-bit, that particular data is either transferred into the register or from the register. That is indicated by this particular bit. Okay, so these three values gives you the first byte, and the first byte will have the opcode, that means the type of operation, and the next one is the direction of the data transfer and the size of the data transfer. These three things will be specified in the byte 1 of any instruction. Okay, of any instruction that you take, these are the things that are specified. Okay, opcode will have a different value. That means if you take add, for example, I am saying if you take add, so add will be having a value 110 Okay, so if you see this kind of representation in these values, then we need to understand this is add operation. Okay, so here we completed 6 bits. The remaining 2 bits, let us say 0 and 1. Okay, 0 and 1. So as we are writing D0 bit as 1, we are working on 16-bit data, and as we are writing 0 here, we are taking the data. That means we are loading the data into the register. Okay, that is the indication of the first byte. If you write first byte like this, that is the meaning of first byte. Okay, hope the first byte is clear to you. Next one, coming to the second byte here, we will have the same 8 bits here. The byte 2 will also have same 8 bits, and the same 8 bits if you take the first 3 bits, okay, 0th bit, first bit, and second bit. The first 3 bits will specify the register operand or register to use in the effective address calculation. Okay, so these three bits will specify the register, what you can say, register operand or registers to use in the effective address calculation. Okay, in the next 3 bits will give you the specification regarding a register operation or extension of the opcode, and the next 3 bits or the next 2 bits will have, after completion of 6 bits, we will have 2 bits. That 2 bits will give you the register mode or memory mode with displacement length. Okay, that means if you see here, in the instruction that you take, let us say in the previous class we saw an instruction called move AL, comma, BL. This was the instruction we saw in the previous classes as an example. Okay, as an example. So the first three bits will indicate the register operand or register to use in the effective address calculation. That means these three bits indicates the source register value. These two indicates the source register value. Okay, and the next indicates the register operand of destination. Destination will be given here. Okay, right? And the next two bits will give you register mode or memory mode with displacement. That means whether we are operating in the register mode or memory mode. Okay, so because we may have either address here or register. Okay, we may have direct address here or we may have register also. Okay, so whether we are working in register mode or memory mode will be indicated by this particular two bits. Okay, that contributes the second byte. That contributes the second byte. In the second byte only, we will have an understanding of whether the displacement is given or not. That means in the previous class we saw that BL plus 08. Okay, so this 08 is nothing but what? Displacement, which I told you in the last class, right? So whether we are having displacement or not, that will be indicated in the second byte itself. Okay, we are working either on register. Okay, whether we are working on register or memory. Okay, memory is different from register, right? So or register plus displacement, register plus displacement, or memory plus displacement, memory plus displacement, or register plus memory plus displacement. Okay, so all these things will get the information in the byte 2 only. ఓకే, అంటే ఇప్పుడు మనం ఓన్లీ రిజిస్టర్ మీదే వర్క్ చేస్తాం. ఆ రిజిస్టర్ మీద వర్క్ చేస్తాం అంటే ఏఎల్ బిఎల్ అంటే విల్ హ్యావ్ ఓన్లీ రిజిస్టర్స్ ఇన్ ద ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్. అలా కాకుండా మెమరీ, మెమరీ మీన్స్ వాట్? విల్ హ్యావ్ అడ్రసెస్ లైక్ 100 1H. దిస్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ అడ్రస్ విచ్ ఇండికేట్స్ ద మెమరీ. ఓకే ఓకే, సో అంటే మెమరీ మీద వర్క్ చేస్తామా అది కూడా ఇక్కడే తెలిసిపోతుంది మనకి. ఓకే, అలా కాకుండా రిజిస్టర్ ప్లస్ డిస్ప్లేస్మెంట్ అంటే ఏంటి? బిఎల్ ప్లస్ some 08H. This is what called register plus displacement or memory plus displacement. Memory plus displacement అంటే ఏంటి? 1001 plus some 08H. Okay, so this is the memory and this is the displacement. This is what called memory plus displacement. అలా కాకుండా register plus memory plus displacement అంటే ఇలా this DLW. Okay, so ilana. So what type of operands that we are using? What type of operands that we are using in the instruction will be given by the byte 2. Will be given by the byte 2. The information regarding the type of operand, the information regarding the type of operand is given by the byte 2. Okay, when you have displacement, okay, when you have displacement, then this byte 3 indicates the lower displacement data. Lower displacement data. Okay, if it is 8-bit, we'll have only byte 3. If it is 16-bit displacement, we'll also have byte 4. Okay, displacement may be either 8-bit or 16-bit. When you have 8-bit, you will have only byte 3. When you have 16-bit displacement, then we will have byte 4 also. Okay, so after that displacement, if you still have any data, then we will have byte 5. And if you still have any higher data, if it is 8-bit data, we will have byte 5. If it is 16-bit data, you will have byte 6 also. Okay, so these are all optional things. Okay, starting from byte 3 to byte 6, these are all optional things. It depends upon the values of bits. It depends upon the values of bits in the byte 2. Values of bits in the byte 2. If there is only register, we may not have these displacement values. If there is only memory, we may not have these displacement values. Okay. If there is register plus displacement, then we can have this lower displacement if it is 8-bit displacement. If there is register plus 16-bit displacement, then we can have byte 4 also. Okay, when we are adding displacement plus data, if it is 8-bit data, we have byte 5. If it is 16-bit data, we will have byte 6 also. That is the meaning here. Okay, so these 4 bytes are optional. These 4 bytes are optional. That is why they are indicated using the dotted line. But these 2 bytes are compulsory. These 2 bytes indicates the, what you can say, the type of instruction and the operations that are performed. Okay, so here you may have a question that why we are restricted with 6 bytes only. Why can't we have more number of bytes? Okay, so the maximum size that can be handled by the 8086 microprocessor is an 6-byte instruction. Okay, the maximum size of the instruction that an 8086 microprocessor can handle is only 6-byte instruction. And this is how that 6-byte instruction is distributed. Right? Right. So basing on this discussion, hope that this is clear to you. Basing on this discussion, we will now classify the instruction into 3 or 4 different categories. Okay, we will now classify the instructions into 2 or 4 different categories. That is, here the classification is not written, just the examples were indicated. I'll give you the classification just a minute. So the 4 different categories are 1-byte instructions, 1-byte instructions. The second one is 2-byte instructions, 2-byte instructions. Okay. The third category is 3 and 4-byte instructions. Okay. 3 and 4-byte instructions. 3 and 4-byte instructions. And the fourth category is 5 and 6-byte instructions. 5 and 6-byte instructions. Now, with the previous discussion, we should have a clarity that why we made classification like this. Why we made classification like this? Because, see, let us go to the previous slide here. In this slide, when we have displacement, if it is 8-bit displacement, then you will have only byte 3. If it is 16-bit displacement, you will have both byte 3 and byte 4. Okay, so these two come under the same category. That is why these are categorized into one type. Okay, 3 and 4. And similarly, when you are working on extra data, if it is 8-bit data, you will have byte 5. If you have 16-bit data, you will have both byte 5 and byte 6. That is the reason why these two are categorized into a single group. Okay, so the classification is clear to you. Now let us see how these are represented here. See, 1-byte instructions. If you see here, that means you will have only a single byte. You will have only a single byte. So this is 1-byte instruction. Okay. So these are generally implied operands. These are generally implied operands. That means when you have implied addressing mode, that means in the previous class we saw implied addressing modes like CLC. CLC means what? Clear the count register, clear the carry flag, sorry, clear the carry flag. Okay, there you will not have any operands. There you will not have any operands. You will just have only opcode. Okay, where we have only opcode, such type of instructions come under 1 byte operand. 1 byte operand. Okay, some what you can say, some instructions will also have a register. Some operations will also have a registers. Okay, so jump, JMP is also jump B2, BL. Okay, so this is one kind of instruction which come under the 1 byte instruction. 1 byte instruction. Okay, and coming to the 2 byte instructions. 2 byte instructions means you will have both first byte occupied and the second byte occupied with no displacement. With no displacement. Okay, if there is no displacement, then you can call that as 2 byte instruction. 2 byte instruction. Okay, so these two come under the 2 byte instructions because the first byte will be opcode and the second byte will have the either register or memory or anything, but will not have any displacement. Without any displacement, I can give you examples like move PL comma BL, okay, or else move AX comma DX, or else move DX comma 1075H. Okay, so these are some of the instructions that come under 2 byte type of instructions. Okay, so these two come under 2 byte instructions. These two come under 1 byte instructions. Okay. Coming to the next category, the next category is what? 3 byte or 4 byte instruction. 3 byte or 4 byte instruction. If you see here, we'll have the first byte as opcode, second byte that indicates the type of what you can say memory or register, and the fourth byte will be displacement. The fourth byte will be what? Displacement, and the displacement will be only of 8 bits. That means a single byte. Only 8-bit displacement we are using. If you are using only 8-bit displacement, then that come under the 3 byte instruction. Then that come under the 3 byte instruction. If you see the next thing here, we'll have 16-bit displacement. 16-bit displacement, opcode will have, the second one will have lower displacement and the higher displacement. Okay, so this comes under the 4-byte instruction. 4-byte instruction, right? Next, coming to the next thing, 5 and 6 byte. Okay, in the 5 and 6 byte, you will have opcode. Okay, you will have opcode, and the what you can say, the second byte which will be indicating the type of operation, and the operand. Okay, the operand with 8-bit. Okay, and if you use 16-bit, then you'll have this also. Okay, so this completely indicates the 6-byte instruction. 6-byte instruction. 5-byte or 6-byte instruction. That means depending upon the type of operand specification, we will have the size of the instruction. We will have the size of the instruction. Hope the things are clear to you, right? So this is what you need in order to understand the instruction set of 8086. Okay, so you need to understand the instruction format, and the classification of instructions. Okay, right. So we will now see, just introduce the classification of instructions in the instruction set. I'll just introduce you the instruction set of 8086 microprocessor. Right. Your sharing document was changed now. See, instruction set of 8086. Okay. See, the Intel 8086 instruction set is the core of entire series of processors created by the Intel. That means this instruction set of 8086 is the base for the entire series of Intel microprocessors. Okay, till now we have several Intel microprocessors. Okay, we have several microprocessors that are produced by the Intel. Okay, and each and every microprocessor will have a special, okay, or specific instruction set for it. Okay, Intel Pentium processor will have a different instruction set. Intel Core processors will have a different instruction set. Intel Dual Core processors will have different instruction set. Okay, so each and every specific processor that is produced by the Intel will have a specific instruction set to it. But the basic for all those instruction sets is the 8086 instruction set. If you are clear with the 8086 instruction set, then you can understand any instruction set of the microprocessor that was produced by the Intel. Okay, just addition and deletion of the instructions were done for the microprocessor that were produced after 8086. That means some instructions have been added to the set to accommodate the extra features for later designs. That means for producing, for the later designs which were produced, only some extra instructions were added to the instruction set in order to accommodate the extra features for the microprocessor. Okay, so the 8086 instruction set supports the following 6 types of instructions. One is data transfer instruction. The second category is arithmetic instruction. The third category is logical instruction. Fourth one, string manipulation instruction. The fifth one is process control instruction. Last category is control transfer instruction. And under each and every category, we have different types of instructions. Okay, but these are all the different instructions, different categories of instructions that are supported by this 8086 microprocessor. So in order to excel in the programming of microprocessor, you need a clear understanding of these particular instructions, which we will be seeing in the coming classes. Okay, these things take at least 5 to 6 classes. Okay, so please be very concentrated. We'll start this instruction set in the next class. Okay, so we'll start with the data transfer instructions in the next class, and we'll try to understand each and every point, see what are all the instructions that are there or presented here with different examples also. So I'll try to explain the things very clearly, right? So please be very concentrated in the class, attentive and regular to the classes. Okay, until this instruction set is completed. If we complete this instruction set, we'll be completing the chapter 2 also, right? So yesterday I sent you a document that is consisting of all the topics that were covered till yesterday. Okay, right? I'll stop here for today because even if I start this topic, we will not be able to complete this within the time. So I'll stop here for today. Hope the topic discussed today are clear to you. Okay, we discussed the instruction format and the type of instructions of 8086, and we just introduced the instruction set of 8086 microprocessor and different categories of instruction sets that are present in the 8086. Okay, we'll stop here for today. If there are any doubts, you can unmute yourself and ask me now. I'll definitely clarify that. Please get unmuted yourself and ask me the doubts